Now for the proportional reasoning section. So Bridget's new car uses 6 gallons of gasoline to travel 186 miles. So we want to know how far she can travel. So in other words, how many miles she can travel on 10 gallons of gasoline. I would probably figure out if she can drive 186 miles on 6 gallons, I would probably figure out how many miles she could go in just 1 gallon. So 186 divided by 6, not much of a division sign there. 186 divided by 6 means she can drive 31 miles on 1 gallon of gas. So to figure out how many miles she can drive on 10 gallons, take the 31, multiply by 10. That means she can travel 310 miles. So your answer should have been B. For number 5, Suki typed 240 words in 3.5 minutes. What is Suki's typing rate? Notice all of these say per minute. That means per 1 minute. So we don't care how many words he can type in 245, or I'm sorry, we don't care how many words he can type in 3.5 minutes. We want to know how many he can type in just 1 minute. So I'm going to do 245. I'm going to divide it by 3.5, which is also the same thing as 3.5. I know you guys have calculators at home. I don't have one here right now, so I'm just going to do it by hand. So I'm going to move my decimal over one place to the right to make it a whole number. I had to move this over one place to the right to make it a whole number. So it's now 2,450. 35 goes into 2,450. If I'm not mistaken, it's going to go in there 7 times. Yeah, so it's going to go into 200, and it doesn't go in, 35 doesn't go into 24. So I had to figure out how many times it goes into 245. So 35 times 7 is 245. That's messy. Then I'm just going to add on my 0. Oops. Sorry, let's try this again, shall we? A little bit neater. 245 divided by 3.5. So I'm moving my decimal point over one place to the right to make that a 35, which means I got to move this one over one to make it 2,450. 35 goes into 245 7 times. Just tack on this 0 right here. Shift my decimal straight up. So that means he types 70 words per minute. If an initial rabbit population of 250 increased by 16%, what is the rabbit population now? So first of all, we got to figure out how much it increased by. So 16% of 250. So to turn that percent into a decimal, move the decimal 2 places to the left, so it's 0.16. Of is a code word for multiplication, 250. So 250 times 16, or 0.16. So I'm going to do this off to the side here. 6 times 0, 6 times 5 is 30, carry your 3. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 3 is 15, add a 0. 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 2 is 2. Add everything together. I've got 2 numbers behind the decimal here. So I need 2 numbers behind the decimal here, which means the answer is 40. So it increased by 40. This, however, is not my answer because it's asking what is the population now. It didn't ask how much it increased by. So we got to take that 40, add it to the original 250. So it actually is 290 now, which should have been D.